Hello future millionaire and welcome to our video. Personal financial management means more than paying bills on time or buying what you want. It takes planning, organization, and looking to the future. In the midst of so many consumer options and so much rush in everyday life, however, it is very likely that you are making mistakes without even realizing it. Leave your like and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on amazing tips like this. The big problem with making these mistakes in your financial management is that your results are compromised and your financial life ends up becoming a mess. To prevent this from happening again, know at least 7 mistakes you make without realizing it and learn how to avoid them. 1. You commit to salary before receiving it. A mistake that you may not notice, but which is quite harmful to your budget, is committing your salary before you even receive it. This happens when you make installment purchases or promise to pay before the money is even in your pocket. This is detrimental to your finances because you decrease the chances of planning your budget correctly, in addition to running the risk of committing more than you really should. In addition, acting in this way favors impulsiveness with your money, generating messy finances that are not very beneficial for your goals. Instead, the ideal is that you wait to receive your salary, pay the fixed expenses, and then, yes, think about what to do with what's left. 2. You don't give preference to buy in cash. Committing your salary early is directly related to a habit strongly rooted in culture, preferring to buy on credit. When using resources such as checks, credit cards, and installments in general, you cannot correctly assess the impact of a purchase on your budget. In addition, your budget is compromised for much longer. For more organized personal finances, the best thing to do is to prioritize cash purchases, especially for items that are not extremely necessary. In some conditions, such as the lack of interest, the purchase in installments can be considered, but the ideal is to reduce the installment period. 3. You spend more than you earn. Speaking of which, another very common mistake is to spend more than your financial capacity allows. If you frequently reach the end of the month with no money or you live in need of borrowing, then this is a sign that your expenses are not keeping up with your receipts. Although it seems harmless, this mistake often leads to a more serious consequence: debt. Without having enough money to pay everything, you end up getting indebted and sometimes defaulting. With debt piling up, it becomes increasingly difficult to meet all your budget needs. The only way to avoid this problem is to know very well how much you actually earn and how much comes out of your budget in order to balance this scale and potentially make expenses less than earnings. 4. You consume more than necessary. Part of this mistake of spending more than you earn is due to overconsumption and superfluous spending in general. In such a consumerist society, it is normal that you are exposed to different offers, promotions, and unmissable sales, and even feel pressured to purchase these items. There is also a very common problem with regard to consumption in relation to the brand. It's not uncommon to see people buying items that do the same job but cost many times more than cheaper options. In this sense, it is important that you define what is really necessary in your life and start consuming what is really important to you. This doesn't mean buying only essentials, but rather making conscious and informed decisions about every purchase you decide to make. 5. You do not register your movements. If one of the important things for your personal finances is knowing how much you earn and how much you spend, how will you be able to know that if you don't record your transactions? Thinking you can remember everything off the top of your head or taking notes is a waste of time, so it's a mistake you make and don't even realize. By doing this, your resources can freely come out of your budget because you will not have control and you will not be able to do a critical analysis at the end of the month. Instead, you'll be left with that feeling of wondering where your money went. Fortunately, technology can help you a lot with this, as you can access completely free and online platforms that will keep you in control without you having to take notes that will get lost around.